Right, next, Drinking Buddies. This is an American comedy drama written and directed by Joe Swanberg. And he has said that he wanted to achieve two things in this movie. He wanted to make a film that harked back to some of the great adult relationship comedies of the 70s, The Heartbreak Kid, Bob and Ted and Carol and Alice, the kind of thing that Joseph Gordon-Levitt was mentioning as well in his interview. And the second thing that he wanted to do was to make a film set in the world of micro-brewing, which seems a very specific thing to want to do, but that was one of his desires.
It's not a bad place for a film unit to be hanging out, though, sure.
And that's exactly what he's done as well. It is a chatty, grown-up romantic comedy with beer. Olivia Wilde and Jake Johnson are best friends and colleagues at this brewery. They've both got partners, but you kind of suspect that they might be better off with each other. Drinking Buddies is Certificate 15. Here's a clip.
You have lost every hand. You are down $1,000. I am yet to see my card.
Will the casino kindly give me another $1,000?
I'll tell you.
I'm good for it.
Kate,
This is like college.
I have never done this before, but I'll talk to the pit boss. We'll give you another $1,000.
Thank you.
You better win it back, kid, because if you lose $2,000, I personally am going to bust your legs.
I'm all warmed up now.
How much?
$100.
That low right now?
You're right.
Let's get weird.
300.
Now we're talking. Good luck, ma'am. I really mean that. I do work off tips.
Oh, that's great.
I think you could probably hear it in that clip, but because of the way that the Joe Swanberg works, a lot of the film was improvised, so the actors would know where they were going. They'd know the outline of the scene, but were encouraged to freestyle it, and you can just tell it.
But it's the chemistry. It's the chemistry between not just those two, but the chemistry between the four leading actors.
Because they're so casual with each other and relaxed and very natural with each other, aren't they?
Yeah, and just that sense of there's a guy who's planning his wedding with his girlfriend, and there's a girl at his workplace who's flirting with him, and he's flirting back with her, and you think they should be together. That is a really difficult sort of frisson to put onto screen, and they do it brilliantly well. Olivia Wilde, I think, is fantastic because she's not always that likable in this film, is she?
No, absolutely.
There's things that she does, and you think that's a terrible thing to do to a guy who's with another girl, but there's great performances, I think, and the dialogue was wonderful, and I believed every minute of it. That's the other thing. It was like, at times it was painful because it was like you were looking into somebody's private life thinking, I shouldn't be here with these two people. I should be leaving this room now. And that is a great thing to be able to sort of...
And I like the fact that they've obviously workshopped to get to that stage. It wasn't a script that was set in stone and you have to learn this word for word and this is it. This is the gospel. Yeah. It's like, well, let's work towards this place where audience members such as you and I do come out going, I totally believe that. This feels realistic.
Yeah. And also, it was really interesting that it was a film set in a brewery and they drink a lot in it, but you felt that their behavior was never, he wasn't sort of saying anything about alcohol in any way. He was talking about big human relationships and not tipping us off in that way and giving the characters an excuse for how they
drink a lot. I mean, that's my only criticism of the film, is that I think most of the people in it look like, they're party goers, they drink, they eat junk food, and that's the kind of slacker lifestyle that they lead. And it does have that sort of Richard Linklater slacker feel to it, which I'm a big fan of. But Olivia Wilde, I mean, drinks a lot.
She does drink a lot.
She would have the body of Johnny Vegas in reality if she was actually drinking.
But not just that. I think they run that company. That's the other thing is they are constantly going out on benders, but they come back and they run this company and they run it very well. And you think, I think things would be falling apart.
She looks like she's had a week at a health farm. She doesn't look like she's just been out.
I don't know about that. I thought she looked like she'd been out on the town a little bit. But I not to distract from the film, because I did think the tone of the film and what the director and the actors have done is really, really brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. And that casual feel that you have, I actually found it sort of relaxing to watch because they look so relaxed on screen. You can just sit back. I mean, it's not a heavily plotted film. It's not like there's a real hook.
It's a character study. It's a total character study, and you're with them and you're seeing how they bounce off each other. And who's it's Anna Kendrick, isn't it? Now, she's the girl. Funny enough, she was in 50-50, wasn't she, with Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Pitch Perfect, Twilight.
And she was in the film Up in the Air with she's wonderful in that. And she has the less showy a role of the two actresses in a way, but because she's very wholesome, but she plays it wonderfully, and you feel that you feel like, is this man going to leave this woman for Olivia Wilde? And that those dynamics, I think, are wonderfully plotted.